What's up, YouTube? This is Alex Wink Ink Michael, and here's what I have for you today. Let's talk about YouTube and the new adpocalypse. Now, a video or two ago, I talked a little bit about the situation on YouTube. As I'm sure everybody at this point is aware, if you're watching this video, I'm sure you have seen just about everything there is to see on what the fallout is, what has happened. But here's a general summary. Basically, a guy named Matt Watson put out a video showing an issue with YouTube's algorithm and it taking him to videos that basically promote pedophilia and all kinds of stuff. So we have a pedophile problem on YouTube. Big shocker. This obviously was very upsetting, I think, to a lot of people for a lot of different reasons. One, for there being pedophiles on the platform, and then two, for the fallout of the advertisers pulling the advertisements from YouTube. So all these companies are pulling advertisements from YouTube. And it's not a good situation at all. It's not good for YouTube. It's not good for its creators. It's not good for anybody. But I just wanted to kind of go into a little bit of what this means from a company standpoint on both sides, on YouTube's side and the companies that have chosen to pull advertisements from YouTube. This won't be a big deep dive. I'm going to try to keep it as arbitrary as possible in terms of, look, here's the reality, here's the situation, and here's what we're going through and what things can happen to correct it. So the good news is, it looks like YouTube has really taken a firm stance on this. They are doing everything they can to correct this, and they are doing it swiftly. YouTube has responded very well to this. They have come down with some critical, just absolutely blistering these people. Now, I will say there is some casualties of war. So there has been some decisions that YouTube has made that hasn't been very popular with how they've handled this. What are those? So basically what they've done is anytime that a minor is featured in a video, they have essentially, if the comments are, some are sensitive to minors, meaning, if there's pedophilia in the comments, like, oh, check out, whatever, minute 4:33, and you can see a kid in a compromising position. They have basically just demonetized those videos and deleted the comments. They're working with local authorities, all the things that they should do. Now, I don't think that demonetizing the videos of the kids that are being preyed upon is the best solution. It's something, and I like that they're working with authorities, they're getting these people, they're turning them in, they're deleting channels, they're doing all these things, but when you talk about demonetizing a channel or a video just because a minor is in it, that kind of changes the game a little bit. And I can understand why some creators are a little bit upset about that. But I think that YouTube saw the urgency. As we predicted a few days ago, this would be national news, and it is. I mean, it's everywhere now. I mean, major companies are pulling their sponsorships. And there's a couple of sides of the argument that we can go into. But so let's take a look at what we're talking about. Right out of the gate, first here we have an article from CNBC. So this is pretty much all over now. It's national. So CNBC's covering this. Fallout over pedophilia content on YouTube continues. AT&T and Hasbro pull all advertisements. It's interesting that this was posted a day ago, and they didn't even really hit on the big ones. So, but they talk about AT&T. AT&T just re-upped their advertisements with YouTube a month ago. So 2017 adpocalypse, AT&T is gone. 1 month ago, they finally decided, okay, cool, we're coming back, and then they just pull them all again 1 month later. And that leaves us with this. So AT&T and Hasbro obviously being a major toy company, these are two very big heavyweights. I guess we should review a couple things in this article. One, AT&T said it's removing all advertising until Google can protect its brand from offensive content. Well, AT&T, I think the same argument could be made for you in different ways, because I'm sure that at some point in your company's history, your brand hasn't been protected from offensive content. So I would say to these companies that are big, I would really try to be collaborative in this situation, not necessarily judgmental. So YouTube reportedly sent a memo to advertisers outlining changes it's making this week to help protect brands. That was a really good move. That needed to be done. Should have been done the second this broke, but either way, I don't know when they sent it, but it probably wasn't soon enough, and hopefully it was somebody very, very high up in the company, CEO, board of directors, that type of thing. Let's flip over to another article on USA Today, which this website is atrocious. I mean, oh my gosh, pop-ups everywhere. But this one highlights the big ones here. AT&T, Disney, Epic Games drop YouTube ads over concerns. Epic Games, big company. Disney, that's the bad one. And that's the one that's generating the most attention is Disney. So we'll go down here. They go into detail about what is going on exactly. In the video comments on YouTube, posters often note the time of the video in which children are in the most exploitative positions while doing gymnastics, playing Twister, or doing yoga. And it probably goes way beyond that. What does this mean? For one, I can completely understand why these companies would be hesitant to have their ads displayed on YouTube. But I get that. I get the hysteria to an extent. I do get it. But at some point, your practical mind has to take over. Common sense has to step in and say, listen, everybody that is of right mind, of sound mind, knows this isn't YouTube's fault. They are a massive brand, an absolute powerhouse brand, just like these companies. Nobody's going to stop buying Disney toys because some idiot posts in the comments stupid stuff where they just need to go to jail. Nobody's going to say, well, YouTube promotes it. Not with the way YouTube has responded anyway. So YouTube has responded. They've sent the things out. I would say to some of these advertisers that you may really want to work together. This is kind of interesting because Disney, you don't think a pedophile goes into a Disney park? You don't think pedophiles use AT&T's phones? I think that's a kind of a fair statement, but I gotta say, these large companies probably should work together on an initiative like this and say, hey, we use YouTube to promote a myriad of things, our products, our stuff. We have a YouTube channel, which Disney Junior has one. It has like 3.5 million subscribers. So they're obviously utilizing the platform and all of its functions. Let's help out. Let's chip in. Let's do this thing together. I think that's the message here that really needs to be sent. These companies need to be collaborative. Well, I don't know what's going to happen, obviously. If I were YouTube, I would aggressively seek advertisers at a discounted rate. I would aggressively go after collaborative partners, big businesses, that you can go in hat in hand and say, listen, we are hitting this problem right in the mouth. Get an aggressive sales team, get in there and start meeting with leaders of companies and saying, look, you want to advertise on YouTube? We're going to give you a special rate. You're Google. You can do this stuff. Go in there and collaborate with tons of companies. Make these companies regret this decision. It is critical at this time. Make them regret it. And I'll be honest, it's a tough call, but sometimes you just can't let them come back. You just can't. AT&T, this is your second go-round, and you abandon ship, give us bad press? I'd be like, listen, AT&T, I'd go to Verizon immediately and be like, look, I'll run your ads free for a month on every channel you want to run them on. It's unbelievable. That's such bad press that AT&T would just pull out after a month. What I like to do on this channel is break down the business decisions, and I'm going to tell you, I'm just telling you what I would do. Being a person that is in a position of leadership in a very large company, I'm telling you, I'm going to their competitor. If my customer fires me for reasons beyond my control, when I'm doing everything I can to control those reasons or those issues, I'm going to their competitor. And I'm probably going to strike a better deal. That's just the way business works. I'm sorry. But with that being said, let's get into one last little part of this. And it's the way that YouTube got the message out of what they are doing. Now, this is the part that I vehemently disagree with. They went through, I don't even know where this message came from, to be honest. it was really interesting. So they basically just kind of came out and said, hey, somebody had asked a question or something on Twitter, and they just said, oh, hey, and here's what we're doing, and they tagged Philip DeFranco in it. You know, I don't even understand why this is a thing. Like, where did YouTube put this statement out officially? I don't know. I don't know where the statement came from. I have no idea. But what I do know is that basically Philip DeFranco took it upon himself. I guess he reached out to YouTube creators, their Twitter channel. We're going to look at Philip DeFranco's Twitter. And we're going to scroll down somewhere right here. This is the Philip DeFranco update right here. YouTube creators left a comment and provided an update on what they've done to combat horrible people on the site in the last 48 hours. This is Philip DeFranco. They disabled comments on tens of millions of videos, terminated over 400 channels, reported illegal comments to law enforcement. So essentially what has happened here is they put this little statement out. We appreciate you raising awareness, and you realize all your YouTube are working incredibly hard. The horrible behavior in the last 48 hours beyond our normal protections. We disabled comments. So they did all this. This was 2 days ago. They put this out there. Well, apparently another creator asked them a question, and they tagged Philip DeFranco. They said, just like Philip DeFranco listed here, they actually retweeted this tweet with Philip DeFranco. It became such an issue for him that he actually had to put out a video from his house, apparently, explaining that, hey, regarding the Team YouTube tweet that has the community freaking out right now. So here's my issue with this. He has to put out a video explaining, like, look, I reached out to them. I don't have an official statement yet, or they don't, but it sounds like this policy isn't for every video on YouTube, because everybody was freaking out that they were going to disable monetization based on comments. That was the big rub with this. Everybody was freaking out that, look, if someone writes a bad comment, I'm going to get my monetization disabled. Well, fortunately, that's not the case. Unfortunately, it only targets videos with minors. That kind of sucks. But it's not everybody. So if you don't have minors in your video, there's not an opportunity to have harm to a child, then you're not going to get demonetized for bad comments, is what it sounds like. That's still probably a little bit speculative. I feel like that's what they've said. But what's interesting is how they handled this. So they put they just tagged Philip DeFranco in this thing like, oh man, let's just put a name to this. Come on. Get some people out there. I mean, at this point, you're not in front of this thing. You're like behind it, but you get on it. You got to jump on this thing. Get somebody in front of the damn camera saying, look, we are going to absolutely destroy anything on this platform that harms kids. We're going to just absolutely blister it, pulverize it. It's over. Do it. I mean, you tag a creator and put him on the spot, which clearly he had no idea this was going to happen. Come on. Help yourself. Collaborate with big companies. Go to them. Like I said, hat in hand. Let me tell you, the easiest sale I ever make is when I try to have my client help me make the sale to them. I'm telling you, it's an age-old tactic, and it works every time. Do it, YouTube. Go to a major company and say, have you all ever dealt with anything like this? You know, build a relationship that way. The best relationships are built through trials and tribulations. I'm telling you, do it. Go to them and say, hey, help us out here. Can you help us out? We can help you. You know, help each other. But start building these long-lasting, meaningful relationships with these companies, because it's going to pay dividends for you. Not only when stuff like this happens, but in the future, to help secure the platform forever, which not that it has a very big risk of just being turned upside down, but still, you need to do everything in your power to help it. And I think that's the end of that rant. I wanted to get this stuff out there. I wanted to share this with you, what I thought, what it is. I think at this point, it's important to everybody that enjoys the platform, that creates and everything. And I hope that YouTube is here to stay. And I really hope that they can work their way through this, and I really believe they will. But I just want to tell everybody, thank you all so much for checking this video out. It means the world to me that you all continue to come in, watch stuff, and I just really appreciate it. And let me know in the comments below what you think. So give me feedback, whatever you think, you let me know. I'm very active. I'll respond to comments, but I love to hear your thoughts as well. And that's going to be it for this one. I will see you guys all on the next one.